Hey, 49ers fans. Today we are diving deep into everything that's been going on with our team this season, and there is so much to unpack. Let's start with that incredible performance against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday Night Football. Prime time under the lights, big stakes, and yet the 49ers came in and absolutely delivered. They did things on the field that seemed impossible, executed plays that nobody expected, and found ways to win even when the odds were stacked against them. It was one of those games that reminds you why you love watching this team. And I want to know from you, the fans, when that game made you the proudest. What moment, play, or effort gave you the biggest rush? Was it the way they dominated the line of scrimmage, the resilience shown on defense, or the way certain players stepped up when it mattered most? Take a second and think about it, because for me, there are a few things that really stand out. When I look at that game, I keep coming back to the running game. All season long, this team struggled to consistently move the ball on the ground. For weeks, every time they tried to establish the run, it felt like progress came in inches instead of yards. And yet against the Falcons, it was completely different. The offensive line looked unstoppable. Christian McCaffrey was finding holes, and the team was able to consistently gain yards at will. It was the kind of performance that makes you stop and appreciate not just the talent, but the resilience and determination of a team that has had to overcome so many obstacles to get to this point. George Kittle, of course, was phenomenal, making the plays that he always seems to make, but this was a team effort. Every single player on that field was part of the equation, and the results were spectacular. And let's talk about just how much adversity this team has faced this season. Injuries, for one, have been relentless. Key players missing week after week. Guys who were supposed to anchor the defense or provide critical depth on offense were out. And yet somehow, this team has found ways to compete and even dominate in certain areas. It's not just about the star players stepping up. It's about the entire roster adjusting, learning, and performing under pressure. For instance, on defense, the 49ers have faced teams starting drives in much better field positions than their own, which makes stopping opponents even harder. Opposing offenses often began their drives in the 20s or 30s yard line, giving them a significant advantage right from the snap. Most teams would struggle under those circumstances, but the 49ers have found ways to limit damage and make critical stops when it matters most. One player who has really stood out in this context is Sam Okwanu. He's not always a household name, but his impact on the defensive line has been significant. With Nick Bosa out, the 49ers lost one of their most disruptive defensive talents. Yet players like Okwanu have stepped up to fill those gaps. Their contributions might not always show up on every highlight reel, but in terms of metrics like third down conversion rates, tackling efficiency, and overall pressure on quarterbacks, they have been invaluable. And that's the beauty of this team. Even when the stars are out or when conventional statistics don't tell the full story, the 49ers find ways to win. Now, let's get into some numbers. You might have seen stats floating around about kickoff coverage, opponent drive starts, and other analytics, and they tell a story that is both sobering and inspiring. The 49ers have consistently been forced to play defense in long fields, starting drives deep in their own territory. Yet, despite these challenges, the team has managed to remain competitive and even dominate in key situations. That speaks volumes about their preparation, discipline, and ability to execute under pressure. And the story doesn't stop there. Christian McCaffrey, for example, continues to face one of the toughest workloads in the league. His yards before contact per attempt have been below average for most of the season, yet he keeps producing critical plays that keep drives alive and energize the team. His effort, combined with the line's relentless blocking and the strategic play calling of Kyle Shanahan, has allowed the team to overcome deficits and make momentum-shifting plays when it matters most. Speaking of Shanahan, it's hard not to highlight just how masterful he has been this season as a play caller. Even without key wide receivers or the leading tight end, the team continues to find creative ways to move the ball and generate big plays. The offense adapts week to week, sometimes even within a single game, showing a flexibility and intelligence that is rare at this level. Whether it's using motion to create mismatches, dialing up play-action passes to exploit over-aggressive defenses, or simply finding the right personnel matchups, Shanahan has consistently shown an ability to get the most out of his players. And that is what makes this team so dangerous and so exciting to watch. The combination of talent, strategy, and sheer willpower to win even when the situation looks bleak. And it's not just the offensive side of the ball. The defense, despite missing key contributors, continues to create turnovers, make timely stops, and force opponents into mistakes. You look at the data on third down conversions, and it's clear that the 49ers are making life difficult for opposing offenses. Even teams with elite players like the Falcons have struggled to consistently convert in critical situations. That kind of performance is a testament to coaching, preparation, and the mental toughness of the roster. It's one thing to have talent. It's another to consistently apply it under pressure when every game counts. Even with all of these challenges, the 49ers are maintaining a strong record. They are winning despite limited help from field position, despite injuries, despite opponents' talent, and despite circumstances that would derail most other teams. And what's most remarkable is the consistency with which they do it. Week after week, they find ways to secure victories, make crucial plays, and keep their playoff hopes alive. That resilience is the hallmark of a team that is not just good, but special. Watching them, you get the sense that there's a culture of accountability, toughness, and unselfish play that permeates every position group. It's not about one superstar. It's about everyone contributing and refusing to be outmatched, no matter what the numbers say or what the critics predict. As we look forward to the upcoming games, including the matchup against the Houston Texans, it's clear that this team is prepared to keep defying expectations. Even when the schedule is tough or key players are out, the 49ers are showing a rare combination of talent, preparation, and heart that makes them formidable in any situation. And it's those moments, the unexpected big plays, the defensive stops at critical times, the successful drives when it feels like nothing can work, that keep fans on the edge of their seats. This is a team that refuses to be defined by setbacks, injuries, or statistics alone. They are defined by their resilience, their creativity, and their ability to execute under pressure. And that's what makes watching this team so thrilling. Every snap feels meaningful, every drive carries potential, and every game has moments that can turn a season. The 49ers are not just playing football. They're telling a story of determination, skill, and overcoming adversity. And even with a challenging season full of obstacles, they continue to find ways to excite, inspire, and remind fans why we love this team so much. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about the fight, the strategy, the talent, and the heart that goes into every single game. Now, moving forward, let's dive into some of the deeper numbers and analytics that really highlight just how impressive this 49ers team has been. When you start looking at rushing efficiency, for example, it tells a story of perseverance. Early in the season, the stats weren't pretty. The team was near the bottom of the league in EPA per rush, and they were facing defensive boxes that were lighter than most, which should have made running the ball easier. And yet, despite all of that, they found ways to gain critical yards, keep drives alive, and eventually dominate games like the one against the Falcons. It's a clear example of a team that refuses to be defined by early season struggles or by what the numbers suggest on paper. They adapt, they adjust, and they overcome. Christian McCaffrey, even with an incredible performance against Atlanta, still faces challenges that aren't obvious if you just glance at box scores. His yards before contact per attempt remain below league average. And even after contact, the gains aren't always as high as you might expect for a player of his caliber. Yet, he consistently finds ways to impact the game. It's a testament not only to his skill, but to the offensive scheme and the players around him who create opportunities. The blocking, the motion, the misdirection, these aren't just plays on a sheet of paper. They are carefully orchestrated sequences that turn small openings into big gains and show just how disciplined and prepared this team is. And let's not forget about the defense. Even without key pieces, they are creating pressure, forcing third and long situations, and making it difficult for opposing quarterbacks to feel comfortable. Sam Okwonu has been a standout, but so have others who have stepped into roles that were suddenly vacated due to injuries. It's a rotation that is constantly adjusting, constantly responding to challenges, and constantly finding ways to make critical stops when it matters most. The coordination, communication, and sheer effort on display are phenomenal. Even when opponents start drives with a field position advantage, the 49ers find ways to neutralize that edge, and that's why they remain competitive despite the obstacles stacked against them. Turnovers, drops, and penalties could have been the undoing of this team, but they've minimized the damage and capitalized on opportunities where others might have faltered. When you look at drop impact on EPA, the 49ers are actually performing quite well relative to other teams, managing to limit the negative effects while still making plays that shift momentum. And their ability to adapt week after week is remarkable. It's not just about talent on the field. It's about preparation, mental toughness, and a commitment to excellence that drives every decision, every play, and every adjustment. The coaches and players alike are constantly analyzing, learning, and improving, and the results speak for themselves. Kyle Shanahan, as always, is the mastermind behind much of this offensive creativity. His ability to adjust to injuries, game situations, and defensive strategies has been a hallmark of his coaching this season. Even when key wide receivers and tight ends are out, the offense continues to function at a high level. Motion, play action, misdirection, and creative personnel groupings are all tools in his arsenal, and he uses them to maximize the strengths of the players on the field. It's this kind of thoughtful, strategic play calling that allows the 49ers to compete against even the toughest defenses and make the most out of every opportunity. As we look ahead, the next game against the Houston Texans brings new challenges. Traveling to Houston, facing an opponent that has struggled with injuries and lineup consistency, the 49ers still need to execute at a high level. Rest advantages and scheduling quirks can play a role, but ultimately, it comes down to preparation, focus, and execution on the field. The 49ers have proven time and again that they can rise to the occasion, find ways to win under less than ideal circumstances, and maintain their position as a competitive team in the league. The mindset, culture, and discipline of this roster are what set them apart and allow them to consistently perform at a high level. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The San Francisco 49ers have reportedly made a bold move that's sending shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill. PENEI Sewell, one of the league's most dominant offensive linemen, is said to be officially joining the team. While the franchise has yet to provide exhaustive details on the contract or Sewell's exact role, sources close to the organization suggest the former standout is expected to become an immovable wall on the offensive line, potentially transforming the 49ers' approach to both pass protection and the running game. Fans and analysts alike have been buzzing over what this could mean for San Francisco's offense. Sewell, known for his rare combination of agility, strength, and football IQ, instantly elevates any line he joins. Rumors are swirling that the team sees him not just as another addition, but as the anchor around which their offensive strategy might now revolve. Some insiders even speculate that his presence could influence the 49ers' draft and free agency priorities in the coming seasons, as the organization might pivot toward maximizing Sewell's game-changing abilities. Across social media, the reactions have been explosive. Supporters of the team are already envisioning a unit that can dominate at the line of scrimmage, giving the quarterback more time and opening lanes for the running backs. Critics, on the other hand, question how Sewell's style will mesh with the 49ers' current system and whether the hype is warranted. One thing seems certain. The conversation about San Francisco's offensive line has shifted overnight, with Sewell at the center of every speculative thread. Some whispers even suggest that Sewell's signing could send ripples through other teams looking for elite offensive linemen, possibly triggering a domino effect in trades or free agent negotiations. The NFL community is keeping a keen eye on how this rumor develops into reality, and while official statements remain minimal, insiders hint that Sewell might not just be another addition. He could be the cornerstone that defines a new era for the 49ers offense. As always, In the world of NFL rumors, nothing is set in stone, but the excitement and chatter surrounding PENEI Sewell's move to San Francisco are impossible to ignore. Could this be the signing that changes the balance of power in the NFC? Only time will tell, but for now, the rumor mill is alive, and 49ers fans are already dreaming big. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.